Okay, we are Jesse and JD from CG92 in Calgary and iHeartRadio Canada. Deryck Whibley joins us on Zoom. Deryck, how are you, man? Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Um, First off, congrats on Landmines. You know, it's our first piece of Heaven and Hell, and we love it. It
Cool.
sounds like to us anyway. I think the consensus has been, something that could have come straight off of Does This Look Infected, but at the same time sounds like exactly where you and the band are at in 2023. Your thoughts on it? You must be excited.
Yeah, I am excited, and I think you nailed it. I mean, the intention was with this new record, it's a double record, Heaven and Hell, and the Heaven side is 10 songs of what would be old school Sum 41 pop punk, and the Hell side is the newer, sort of heavier metal side that we've done for about 16, 17 years now, maybe even longer. But anyway, yeah, I think that song does have the spirit of, say, All Killer and Does This Look Infected, but played by a band that's been playing for 30 years now.
And Derek, when you're a band that's been around as long as you guys have and had as much success as you guys had, how much pressure is there for you guys to get it right here at the end? You got a new album, which is assumingly going to be the last one from Sum 41. You guys got
Yeah.
the last tour. For a lot of your fans, this version of Sum 41 is going to be the one they remember when you guys hang it up at that final show. How much pressure was there for you guys to make this album and get this tour exactly how you guys wanted it?
There was no pressure because we didn't really know that we were going to make this the last record. Um, when I started writing songs for this record, I didn't even know I was writing songs for Sum 41. I thought I was writing for other people because at the beginning of the pandemic, I was getting asked by managers and record labels if I'd work with some of their artists, and they were looking for pop punk stuff. And so I just started writing songs, and I just happened to like them, and I didn't want to give them away, so I kept them. And I didn't even know we were making a double album. I didn't even know it was going to be what it became. It wasn't until all the music was just written. I was just writing for the sake of writing. And when I listened to it all back, it just kind of spoke to me. And, I'm a big believer in that the music tells you what to do. And it just told me this should be a double album. Once that album was finished, I'd realized, and I'd been thinking this for a while, that I felt like after all these years, with my 1,000% focus on Sum 41 all day every day, I felt like I don't have much more of that in me to continue past this record. um, I've been in this band since I was in 10th grade, and I just am getting to a point where I'm thinking I'd like to put some focus and energy into something else. um, and I felt this is probably the best record we've ever made, and I think this version of the band is the best we've ever been live. And I thought, what a way to just go out on this one then.
So you may not have known that it was going to be the final album, but you do know it's going to be the final tour. How do you get ready for that part of it? Like how do you prepare final set lists and get ready to
That's tough.
to take it on the road for the last time? What's the preparation like for that? Because you do know.
Yeah, the set list is tough. I've even tried working on it already, even though the tour is not going to be till next year. It's going to be tough to try to fit everything in, especially with a brand new album and it being a double album. I don't know. I think we're going to figure it out as we get closer, but we're going to try to play a bit of everything from every album. But we also like to play songs that people are going to know. So we don't want it to be long and drawn out and boring and play, 10 songs that nobody's ever heard of just because they're important to us. We want to put on a great show. So, we're not there yet, but we'll figure it out.
And Derek, as a lifelong musician who's had a fantastic run in the music industry, not just in Canada here, but in North America and the world, when you're the figurehead of a band and the face of a band and you've been doing music your whole life and you announce that your band is hanging it up, do you look into the future at all? And do you think of, like a solo record and going out as just Deryck Whibley, or a new band and a new musical focus, writing songs for other people? Have you gotten that far yet? I know it's still ways away till Sum 41's done, but.
Yeah, I honestly can't really think about what I would do post Sum 41 until everything's, I need to like burn it all down before I can figure out what to build next. And obviously, I love music and want to continue to do music and be a part of the music business. But I have I would love to be a part of helping developing bands as well as still writing songs. I've always wanted to go out and do a solo acoustic tour, and I've never been able to. I think that would be really fun. I think part of the thing with Sum 41 is that because there's so many people involved, not just the band, but like everybody involved with the entire thing, it becomes somewhat of a machine. And there's all these um, things that pull you in different directions that has nothing to do with the music. And I think I would love to go out and just do a solo acoustic tour by myself, just where it's so simple and it's just me on my own, and not a whole big, huge production of people that have to travel around, and, you know, just something simple.
That'd be really cool, man. There's a lot of bands that, you know, we've talked to over the years, especially bands that are, you know, hanging up and going on this final run. And some bands will have that moment where they were just sitting around and this is it. It just came to them that this band cannot continue anymore. Did Sum 41 have a moment like that where there was a time you guys were sitting together, or maybe you on your own, where you just said, you know, this is it for Sum 41, can't do this anymore?
Yeah, for me, it was like that. It was just starting to, I mean, it crept up. I mean, probably around 2019, I started feeling like my mind is starting to wander and think about maybe doing something else. But then the pandemic hit in 2020, and we were off the road for about 2 years, and I felt like maybe all I needed was a break, you know, and once we get back out there, I'll be re-energized and love it like I used to. And when it started back up, I still just kind of had those same feelings. Now, like being on stage and playing those songs felt amazing. It's everything else. You know, like every time I'd be on stage, I would think, how could I ever think of not doing this? I love this. I love the band. I love the guys. I love the music, and I love the audience. And it's just so great. And everything seems to keep getting bigger and bigger with every tour and every album. But I still had this thing in the back of my mind of like, I feel like if I continue past this next record, I might start losing that feeling. And I don't want to go up there and fake it or go through the motions in it, because if I do, the band won't be great. I won't be writing songs that I feel strongly about. It'll feel like I'm going through the motions, and I can't do that.
We wanted to ask you, you know, how cool it was to check out the Punk Rock Museum, play Linoleum with Fat Mike, you know, and maybe to realize, I would assume anyway, that, you know, you're a big part of that story that's told at the Punk Rock Museum. You know, Sum 41 is such a big, you know, part of not just like Canada's punk story, but like the story of punk in general. What was that like?
Well, I don't know if we're really a big part of the story, but it's great to be included in it. You know, something I never thought would ever happen. Just like I never thought we'd ever play Linoleum with Fat Mike. You know, we started our band in '96 because we were huge fans of NoFX and Pennywise. Those are the two bands that we held as like, man, if we could just be as good as those two bands and play on the Warped Tour, that was our dream. So needless to say, we've exceeded all of our dreams, and playing with Fat Mike the other day, that was the first time we've ever done that. We've known each other for a long time, but that was like another dream come true in a way. You know, it was something that when we were 16 starting the band, I didn't think we'd ever even meet NoFX. So, and to be part of the Punk Rock Museum, I mean, it's such a great honor, and it's a great, they did such a great job with it too. So, you know, it's cool to walk through it and see the whole history of everything, and then to see yourself as part of it as well.
Yeah, we went there this summer actually to the Punk Rock Museum in Las Vegas, and it was cool to see. You know, there's a whole bunch of Canadian bands that we grew up loving that
Yeah.
made the museum and are a big part of it with some special, you know, memorabilia. That was awesome. What a cool spot to go to. If anyone's watching right now and ever gets to Vegas, you got to check out the Punk Rock Museum.
Yeah, it's really well done.
And Deryck, the last question, man, you guys have been a band for quite some time now. And, you know, if we could fast forward like 20 years and somebody asked you, you know, to sum up your time as the front man for one of the biggest bands that Canada has, Sum 41, what would you tell people about this long, successful, you know, very, very successful run you guys have had?
I've been really fortunate. I've been really proud of what we've done. I think it's been a really interesting career for myself to look back on, because there's been so many ups and downs. It hasn't just been awesome the whole time, but the highs have been, you know, super high. The lows have been as low as you could possibly get. And I'm probably because I'm just a happy person and I love where my life is. I'm thankful for everything that's happened, even the really tough parts, because I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today without everything.
You're going to see Sum 41 on stage coming soon. The new album, Heaven or Hell, coming spring of 2024. Deryck Whibley of Sum 41. Thank you so much for joining us here today, buddy.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.